Do you know that there's a beast inside us all?
Oh, I did not think we were going to start there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and maybe multi-beasts. Do you want to learn how to find the beast within you and turn it into an NFT?
Would I ever? Take me.
Of course you do. Okay, let's do it. All right. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time here, do like and subscribe. We do new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and you're going to want to stick around to the end of this one because this is a project that has me so hyped that I can barely function today. So this took some serious detective work to get through, but let's just get right into it, and I'll explain why I've been frantically scouring the internet for as much alpha as I can on this project. So let's just go right into their Twitter page to start. This is actually on Twitter as @the Haas Brothers. The project is called Multibeasts. It already minted out on September 19th, 2022. There's a total supply of 4,444 NFTs. No idea why they picked that number, but I'm just happy it's not a 10,000 PFP project. The price to mint, that's just too many. It's time to stop. We need a new method. Each of the NFTs you could purchase for 0.08 ETH if you were on the Beast list, they called it, instead of the white list, which they thought sounded too snobby. And I'm down with that too. I've got really good vibes about the founders of this, by the way. They seem like really chill dudes. So if you made the Beast list, which I was lucky enough to somehow get on, then you could mint a maximum of 2 of these. They are currently available on secondary. At the time of recording, they are at 0.14. They did go up a bit after mint into the 0.2 area. It's my hunch. Again, this channel is not financial advice, but my hunch and feeling that this project will go up in price because of some of the tech innovations behind the scenes, which I will talk about. Stick around for that information because if I am understanding this correctly, the company they partnered with behind the scenes could possibly change the entire NFT space. It is possibly that big of a deal.
So what Lux is saying is she's going to dig into the actual utility behind this project, that it has some major utility.
Major utility. Major. Did I say major yet? Huge. This sold out. It was a slow mint. When I thought it was going to sell out in 2 seconds, so I refreshed the page and bought so fast. And then I was like, oh no, I was one of the only ones. And then within 3 hours, they were all gone. So it slowly sped up. And I was expecting to sell out in 0.2 seconds because when I read about the artist behind it, I was like, okay, it has WAGMI potential.
Did it sell out entirely in the allow list? Did it ever make public?
Never made public. Allow list, minted out. I think they were even surprised by the whole situation in this bear market, but I wasn't surprised. It just took a couple hours longer than I thought. I thought it would be 30 minutes max. So let me tell you why. Let's take a look at the Haas Brothers. So, wow, that is quite an image there, isn't it? I didn't thoroughly vet. I'm gonna have to blur that one out. So anyway, their pieces are so freaking cool. If we come into their gallery on their website, what they do, their names are Niki, I hope I'm saying that right, and Simon Haas. They are twin brothers, and they started off as construction workers in Texas and got into making sculptural pieces. And they did say in the AMA last night that I listened to that they had a hard time transitioning into the art world, and they were constantly questioned on if they are true artists and what is art. And they just got bigger and bigger, and now you can find their pieces inside the Met, which is a little museum. I don't know if you've heard of it. Metropolitan Museum of Art, the LAMCA, which is the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and they are also in the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum. Needless to say, I think the art world has said, yes, this is art. It looks a lot like a Alice in Wonderland meets the Muppets fantasy world that I very much would like to crawl into. It's so playful. I really adore what I've seen here. And this is my first introduction to them, which I think is super cool because of the thesis statement that they said that the reason they were interested in NFTs is that they feel like the fine art and high art world is really reserved just for elites. I think that's a kind way of saying super rich people and not the plebes. They wanted to be able to bring fine art to the masses and give people the opportunity to actually own some of these pieces and be a part of that world, because they had a hard time themselves getting into it and opening a gateway into the space, which I think is so cool of them. I love that art thesis. They also had mentioned that I've read somewhere that they were advised by some of their buyers and stuff, like not to get into NFTs, but they just see the space as revolutionary the same way we do on this channel, and that they disagree with that statement. So I agree.
We support you.
I support you. So anyway, we've taken a nice little jaunt through their art pieces here. These pieces do sell for upwards of $1 million plus. These are serious high-end pieces. Their studio spawns anything from set design to wearable art. They have made masks for Lady Gaga and gold-leafed furniture for Louis Vuitton stores. Donatella Versace recently commissioned the design duo to make a limited edition collection of fashion and design items covered in the brand's signature Medusa heads and honeycomb patterns. I have a little video of what that stuff looked like. I was drooling looking at it, and also just fascinated by how they work in their studio, because they are such craftsmen, and it's just so cool to see American artists making things like this. Yeah. As somebody who's been in the art world for a long time, it's just so cool to watch people work, and you very rarely get the opportunity to see it. So love that. One other thing to say is that this is not their first NFT project. This is the first one that they're doing for the public. They have previously made NFTs for the Academy Awards that came with a physical award. And those NFTs helped fund education around film. So no big deal. They pretty much work with all of the biggest people in the world. And a little fun trivia, they have a third brother who is older than them, Lukas Haas, who is an actor. You've probably seen him in some things like Mars Attacks. He's like the kid in it. But anyway, he is part of the infamous wolf pack that Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire are into. I don't know how close they all are, but I am certainly intrigued. Anyway, let's look at the actual website. So here we are on the Multibeasts website. There is this nice little intro video here with the founders.
It's called the Multibeasts. We're releasing Multibeasts as unique digital portraits. My name is Niki Haas. I have an art studio with my brother Simon Haas. We're the Haas Brothers. The sort of founding idea of it was that, what if out there's another reality where you are a beast? That's kind of what we're trying to do here, is reflect back to you what you might be in this alternate reality. The idea is that there's many realities happening at the exact same time. Art has become so exclusive and for such a small amount of people, and NFTs open it up so that more people can engage.
And so the idea is you get this output from the survey, right? And so all of these numbers get translated in our back end that then takes every single element and correlate it to specific attributes that you can see here. You're gonna have a unique hair, unique mouth, different kinds of hair textures, different kinds of hair colors, different horn shapes, angles, styles, and all of these unique traits were basically a representation of you.
I think NFTs can have and will continue to serve really, really high purposes and change people's minds about the world. We've always held as a pillar of our art studio that the user and that the viewer of the artwork is more important than the maker. And I think this is just a way for us to express that into the digital space.
The NFT collection itself, if you had the opportunity to mint, you were able to take a survey, which unfortunately, if you buy on secondary, you cannot take the survey. It has probably already been taken for you. And if it hasn't been taken, then you will be given like a randomly generated set of traits for your Multibeast NFT. But the survey itself was incredibly cool. It's like a personality test that was done in the most clever way. I'm going to bring up what it looked like here. I recorded the whole thing and captured it because I thought it was so innovative, and the user experience design nerd in me just couldn't help herself. Yes, I'm going to have to carefully edit this later because if I show you what my answers are, you'll know all of my sexual preferences. So anyway, this whole personality test is about essentially revealing the beast within you, like what your animal instincts are, if I understand this correctly. And they made like just the cutest little quiz. This is why we just need more artists in the world in general, because you could ask these questions in such a boring way. Which one do you feel? Like, are you more like meditative, introspective, or extroverted? That's like what the question is asking, but just in a visual way. And it was more fun this way. Like, who wants to read a boring survey? Yeah. So anyway, these questions, they were all visual. You just picked, what your preference was, and they definitely got into some sexual categories here.
Okay.
The breeze through. How do you carry yourself? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have to edit this very carefully so nobody knows my answers because it's pretty funny. Anyway, at the end of it, you were able to name your multi-beast. And they did say in the AMA to choose your name carefully because you will have an opportunity to license these with the Remaster partnership, which I'll talk about in a bit. So pick something that's marketable. They do realize that people didn't know that upfront. So if by the time this video is up, it'll probably already be over. But for anybody who bought on secondary, they'll have a chance to rename the beast.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's good news. With the outcomes, they calculated that there are 130 trillion possible test outcomes for that personality test. And the thing that is super dope about this whole thing is that your NFT's rarity is entirely dependent upon your inner animal. Beast. Inner beast. So I'm so curious to see how I turn out. I am here talking on the internet with face paint on about NFTs. It might come out weird. I don't know. How weird am I? What if I'm really basic?
I was thinking, what if you're just like super pared back for some reason?
I had that thought too. I'm taking a sip of water. It made me nervous. What if it comes out like the majority of people are the same and they have no rarity traits within them? I'm going to have an existential meltdown.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Right? So I can't wait to see the results. Not sure when they are being revealed. Maybe by the time this video is live. If they are, I will splice in a video of those reveals. But for now, what we've got going on here are these hilarious cover images with the monster.
Very Frankenstein.
Very Frankenstein animal urges. Hilarious. This is just like the right level of pervert. So again, here are their basic 4 pillars of their project. This is fine art for the people. It's your digital DNA in each of these characters. The personality defined rarity based on the answers to the questions. And then the big piece I'm about to talk about, the ownership rights secured on chain.
Say what?
Say what? All right, let's just get into the dang ownership rights because this is incredible. So they have partnered with this company, Remaster. And after learning briefly about them, we most definitely need to make a full deep dive video on what they are doing. So this is a way to do legal contracts as protocols. It's something that needed to happen. I'm not surprised to see it, but I am surprised to see it so soon. As I got into the survey, I did notice that I had to agree to illegal terms and conditions that I frantically copy and pasted into a Word document to read later because I was afraid I was going to miss out on mint. But I went back and read through it and I was like, okay, this is actually some really serious legal contract. I haven't seen any NFT project really do any sort of legal documentation or like terms and conditions agreement up front. So, which they should, by the way, everybody should be writing some legal rules and terms around their projects. But when I read through it,
how are they going to
run? You can't run without it, right? It was a long time coming. This is the first time I've seen a project do legitimate legal work up front. So seeing that, I'm like, how many more can I buy? These guys really understand like the real world mixed with the metaverse. This company Remaster, let me just explain what they are doing here. So they are a new blockchain company building the necessary legal infrastructure to support the Web3 dream. Remaster is bringing legal rights on-chain to protect both the creator and the collector with transparent, traceable, and enforceable ownership rights. These decentralized terms and conditions will allow for additional utility, such as dynamic on-chain commercial rights, where all stakeholders benefit. So that was a really official statement. But if we just go through, they have on their site what problems the space has. When I see all these things, there's no valid e-signatures, buyers are uninformed of their rights, no direct link to any sort of contract, possession versus ownership, retroactive versus proactive, which means can these contracts adapt in an evolving space and not just sit as a stale document. That's a really important thing that has to happen. Token gating versus asset gating. So these are all the things that they have solved for, which sounds super good to me. Yeah. And they have been working on this for a while. They are ready to launch it. It is happening right now. Some of the things that they were talking about, a legal representative from Remaster was on the AMA last night, and they were on the edge of their seat trying to shut their mouths about what is going on inside this company. But they were like, okay, I'm dying to share the news of what is happening here. But they said that they can't yet because they are dealing with billion-dollar companies and their legal teams, and everything is pretty much at that final stage of being ironed out. But they're like, we understand how frustrated everybody is wanting to hear the information, but imagine how frustrating it is to have to hold it in and knowing what it is. Yeah. That was this sort of vibe. But he gave us a little bit of a hint of what is happening. So he said they are working with unbelievably large brands to directly engage with the community in a legitimate legal contract that will actively allow the community to opt in to some of the license opportunities and get paid directly from these large brands through the legal infrastructure. So they are creating a sort of marketplace, legal marketplace, where you can sell your IP or rent. I don't understand the exact terminology legally, or give your rent your IP. I don't know what the term is. Yeah. But to a big brand, let's say somebody like Bernie's New York, which is a brand that the Haas Brothers previously worked on, wants to license your Multibeast for some reason, they will pay you directly for that IP through this contract. You can just rent it out. And they did mention some other really cool ways that this marketplace may work. If your NFT also acts as a pass to events and stuff, you could rent out your pass essentially to the highest bidder. I shouldn't have said highest bidder. I'm not sure if there's an actual auctioning system, but somebody could offer you money to
just a potential use case.
Right, a potential use case. I think that is very exciting news for the Web3 space. It's something that is desperately needed. I think that this is a game changer remaster. This could potentially revolutionize the space and be the next thing happening here. That's how pumped up I am hearing about it. And apparently I'm not the only one. So they have a Twitter page that is criminally underfollowed because nobody knows what's going on here.
Oh my God.
They're looking at the pretty art and not the stuff behind the scenes. But I do recommend following Remaster_IO on Twitter if you want to get some more alpha about the things that they are working on and what projects they are involved with. And then there were some very big celebrity minters in this project that I
do tell.
We have.
Who are our friends?
Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty, Eddie Sharf, who's an artist, Andrew Wang, who's a huge NFT influencer. They have all bought into this project. Yeah, if you are interested in getting in on this, do check out Multibeasts on OpenSea. I will have this linked below. I can't wait to hear what they are going to announce next. I would definitely follow them on their socials to get that alpha. Mm-hmm. I am bringing you as much as I know, and I am very hyped and excited about this. So that being said, let us do a real quick glue sniff rating system analysis of this project. So if you're not familiar with the way we do things here, this is a backed by science rating system to determine how legitimate we think a project is and if it is worth buying or not. Queen of Degens, on a scale of 1 glue sniff to 3, where do you rank this one? 1 being you only need a little bit of glue to buy into it, and 3 being you need to sniff a lot of glue and be out of your mind.
I would say 1 sniff based on how quickly it sold out. So now I know it's like after mint, but I'd still say 1 sniff because I think the potential for the artwork is really cool. I really love the utility with the legal contract, and I think it's the user experience that you had to go through to create that beast. I think it's pretty neato burrito. So I'd say 1 sniff.
1 sniff. I'm going to have to agree and say 1 sniff, and we already know I bought, so it was really like 0 sniffs for me. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm here for it. I bought on secondary, I think at the height. So here we go.
And here we are. So we have a Multibeasts, 1 overpaid, 2, I don't think you've overpaid. I think there's a bright future for this. We are in a bear market. Nobody knows the difference between what's a good project and what's something that's flip, pump and dump, except us, which is why you should like and subscribe to our channel. And also follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter at Probably Degens. And if you enjoyed this, do come back on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's when we post new videos. With that, beast out.